Hey guys, this is Amber from NotableInk.com, and I'm here with my first post for the Hedgehog Hollow design team, so I'm so excited to join the team. This is the first card that we're going to make today, and this card was inspired by the bee die from Elizabeth Craft's design, so I wanted to use this product. And I didn't want to have just flat cardstock, so I decided to do some alcohol ink. Now, I ran out of Yupo paper, so what you see here is one single sheet of Costco glossy photo paper cut in half. The one on the left is the side that you would typically print on. The one on the right is the back side of the paper. So I wasn't sure which one would be the correct side to use, so I thought I'd try them both. Clearly you can see that the back side is the way to go. The ink moves really easily. So I'm using Ranger alcohol inks today, and I've put down Sunshine Yellow, Lemonade, and a little bit of Salmon just to get some variation in color there. And what you see me spraying is just a spray bottle of alcohol that I got from CVS. Totally simple. It's great. I love having it in a spray bottle like that. And so here I got a little too much texture, so I just wet a paintbrush with some alcohol, and I'm just going to blend out some of those areas because I thought the texture on the bee might be a bit much. This is also going to give me the opportunity to get some of those kind of pooling sticky areas. And here, I've never done this before, but I'm using my heat tool to move the pigments around, and it dried it a little too much. So here you can see I'm trying to put some foil down, and I just don't have enough of those sticky areas or pools of ink there. So I think I need to get like an air puffer or something like that. I think that the heat tool is a little intense. So I've gone ahead and die cut the bee body, and I'm going to create another ink panel with blue ink. And I'll have the colors of ink listed below. And same thing, I'm using my heat tool here. This I wanted to be a really light application because they're wings, so I kind of wanted them to be a little bit airy. And you can see I'm able to get more of the foil down this time. Both of these foils were a pack from Ranger, so I'll have that listed below. I'm going to go ahead and die cut these wings. Make sure that you don't put your tape on any of the foiled areas because you can see right here, it'll pull your foil up, and look what happened. So it went from blue to gold. So it must be that the back side of that foil is gold, which I thought was kind of interesting. So just good to know. And I've cut out the other piece of the body, so the detail piece that I'll add the black stripes from black metallic, Curious metallic cardstock. And I'm just using the outline to make sure that my stripes are in the right place. And then I'll peel off that outline layer. And I won't be using that on the card today. So we've got our stripes. I did the eyes and the antenna from that same Curious metallic cardstock. So I'll get those adhered to the head, and I'll get all of that. So I just taped it together on the back until I am ready to put it on the card. So I've stamped a sentiment, and I wanted to do a sentiment strip, but when you can see there's two sentiments there, sending sunshine. And I like the strip to be tight around the letters that don't have ascenders and descenders. So the ascenders and descenders kind of get in my way. So this is my workaround for that. I just use my trimmer to go all the way up to the S. Then I'll pick up the blade, skip over the S, and then go across to the next descender. And then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out around the ascenders and descenders, so that I have a more custom strip rather than just a strip. I don't like it when the space above and below are different, and that usually happens when you have ascenders and descenders. So this, of course, is totally optional. It's just my own personal preference, and it's a little more time intensive. So totally up to you there. So after I was done cutting out the strip, I ran an A2 size piece of Nina through an embossing folder. This one's a hexagon one. It is discontinued, but any kind of pattern similar to that will do. I just thought it would add some nice texture in the background so that it wasn't so plain. I popped up the bee and the sentiment strip on dimensional adhesive. And to finish off the card, I added some Nuvo crystal drops in ebony black, and I just loved how it turned out. Moving on to the second card, we're going to use some of that leftover alcohol ink piece, so you can see what's left over here. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm going to save some of it for a third card that I'll do later. And then I have some chipboard pieces from the Hedgehog Hollow. So as you can remember, we had some foil on our bee here, both the gold and the teal color. So I thought it would be cool to put those two colors of foil on these chipboard pieces. So I have a Nuvo glue pen here. This thing is awesome. I've never used this before. I think it would have been a total pain in the butt to try and get any other kind of adhesive on here, but because it's such a broad tip, it made this so easy. So big fan of that. And so I let the glue dry a little bit to make sure that it was tacky before I brought my foil to it. And I am using my bone folder to just burnish that down. And looking at this now, actually even while making the card, I realized I probably should have flipped it over and done this from the opposite side rather than take the bone folder straight to the foil. So I'm going to do that with, I think, the center of the body. I wise up and I do that. So I missed a couple of pieces, and I think I just didn't get glue in that area. So I'm going to try and get the foil down here. It's not going. And so then I'm just going to add a little glue, and I'll let that dry while I move on to the other wings. So I'll get that placed down, and then we'll do the center of the body. And here I flip it over and then just burnish from the back side. That will prevent you from damaging the foil. It didn't look like anything happened to my foil, but it may be a little bit of a better way to do that. I suppose you could have also put like a piece of copy paper over it and burnished it that way. So there you can see we've got the two tones. So the body is gold and the wings are blue, which I think is really cool. I went ahead and did a couple other bees, but only in gold for those. And I'm going to use a sentiment from the Huffy Doodle stamp set Lucky Friends. Good luck on your new adventure. I'll go ahead and use a black strip of cardstock and stamp this in clear embossing ink. Make sure that you coat your strip with anti-static powder bag first, which I did off screen. And this is the Ranger Gold embossing powder. So I'll go ahead and melt that down. I did do this a second time because I was missing just the top of my end there. But you get the idea. So here's the new strip with the cleaner impression. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of sticky back fun foam on the back of our alcohol ink panel. The reason that I want to pop up the center panel is that I don't want to have to put dimensional adhesive on the back of my bees and firefly. So this is going to help me make those look even more dimensional by hanging it off the side of this popped up panel. And then I can just adhere those directly to the panel. So it's kind of an easy workaround because I was not about to like cut little strips and stick it behind there. And I wanted a little more dimension than it just being completely flat on the card. So I think that the wings cast a really nice shadow off the edge there. So I'll go ahead and use that same Nuvo glue pen, which is awesome again, and I'll stick these down. I did let the glue dry just for a couple seconds to get tacky before putting it down. And I just kind of, you can see, set them down lightly in case I wanted to move them. I ended up just leaving them right where they were. And once I have these placed where I like them, I'm going to go ahead and use a Derice foam strip and put that on the back of my sentiment strip. So I've got that on the back there, and then what I need to do is just double the layer of adhesive foam just on the tiny little ends there, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. You can see it there, because those are going to hang off the side of that popped up panel, and so that'll just give it good support. Once I've got it adhered down, I'll turn it over and trim that from the back. And then for this card, I'm going to use some pretty pink posh sequins, and I'm going to stick with the gold sequins for this one, and in just 2 sizes, the medium and the smallest one in this mix. Here's a close-up of the finished card so that you can see all that sparkle and shine that the foil added to the card. You can see the sequins there and the gold embossing. I think it all just ties together so nicely on that really light alcohol ink panel. And this was unbelievably difficult to take photos of, but I finally ended up getting it. I had to take them outside in order to get good photos. But I hope that you guys enjoyed these projects today. If you did, be sure to subscribe. I'm going to have 4 projects a month with the Hedgehog Hollow. all related to the kits, so definitely be sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of those. Here are the 2 cards together. I hope this inspires you to pull out your alcohol inks and do some die cutting with them and make multiple cards. I'll link a couple other videos at the end for you to check out, and you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Notable Ink. Hit the bell button below if you'd like to be notified when a new video goes live. Thanks again and have a great day.